Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the JAYOE Nation. Unfortunately, this one is going to be another explainer. If you don't know, an article was written about me and my fellow YouTubers who live in China, and it was a pretty interesting article. It claims that the Chinese government is funding our videos and that we have become a propaganda arm of the Chinese government. This is a very interesting few weeks I've had. It's not a small publication, it's the London Times. And it literally, well, it says a few things. As much as it might tangentially say so, I am not British. I know that I can do a pretty good British accent, but no, I am in fact not a British YouTuber living in China. Now, I know that the article was referring to my friends Lee and Ali, but they include me by name and also in their video description. And the title of the article is that British YouTubers are funded by the Chinese government. So, tangentially, they're insinuating that I am British. Sorry to disappoint you, but no, I'm not British. The rest of the article was less humorously wrong and more on the precipice of dangerous insinuation that we have some sort of propagandistic relationship with the Chinese government with regards to our videos. And like I said, it is referring a lot to Lee and Ali, but the clips they use were me discussing topics and they used me in the article, so I think that I need to discuss my take on this because I think it's important. Lee's going to come out with his own take, and China Teacher Brand, you're gonna hear their arguments to this, but I wanted to put out my own. The fact is that we live in China. All of us in that article have different perspectives because we have been here for quite some time. We might not have Western perspectives on certain topics. As a matter of fact, my perspective on the world is from where I am, which is in China. So if my perspective differs from yours, it's not necessarily because I'm being paid by the Chinese government. It's because the life experiences of me in China have informed my opinion that way. I do self-reflect on what I say. I think maybe I am slanted somewhat towards the Eastern perspective simply because I live here. I like my life here in China. I enjoy the lifestyle that is offered to me here in China. And so I'm appreciative to it, and therefore it's very possible that just as somebody living in America or somebody living in Europe or wherever they are is colored by their home. And so the article goes on to show some clips of conversations that Lee and Ali and I and other YouTubers have had and our opinions of certain things. Some of them political, some of them not. And the article claims that those perspectives are funded by the Chinese government. I find that a very, very long stretch. And I will talk about it in the form of an analogy. I like analogies. Let's just say that you were invited to New York City. Your friend lives in New York City. He knows the city very well. He loves his city. He knows that you make videos for a living. And he thinks he might have some interesting videos that he can make here in the city that I care about. So you call me up and you say, hey Matt, come on over to New York City. On me. I fly out to New York City and he takes me around the city. While we are being driven around the city and staying in hotels, he's covering those costs. He is sponsoring the trip I'm taking to New York City. But when we visit places, I decide what to make a video about. Let's just take the Statue of Liberty as an example. We leave the hotel, we drive on his dime to the port where we take a ferry to the island where the Statue of Liberty is. When we get there, I say to myself, wow, this would be an interesting thing to cover, because I make daily videos about my life wherever I am. I make daily videos in China, and as much as I would make daily videos anywhere I am. Literally, you can see me as I cycle around the world making videos about where I am, what I see and what I do, and who I interact with. So I make a video about the Statue of Liberty. It goes on my channel. It's my voice, my camera. I edit it. It's my content. It's my story. Did my friend that invited me to New York fund that video? I guess that's the question. And I guess it's open to certain interpretation. I don't think that that would go under that moniker of funding my video. There are sponsored videos, and I have done sponsored videos in the past. They are very specific. We're going to go to this place. You are going to make this video, and you're going to talk about these things. That was not the case with me, especially in the trip to Shanxi, which was the basis upon which this article was focused on. I am very open to saying that on those trips, we were on a sponsored tour. The tour covered the travel expenses to and from, and then food and certain things. What they didn't do was tell us what to shoot, how to shoot it, and what to say about what we were shooting. All of that was up to us. So I've added some things to clarify in the description of the videos where I was in Shanxi province and Chongqing and Guangxi, and anytime I was on a tour that was sponsored in part by an organization. But in no way were those organizations in charge of the content that I made. In no way did they drive the narrative of those stories. It was all my voice. If I gave my opinion on a certain thing or a certain place while I was at that place, that was my own. They were simply introducing me to certain places. I think the article was trying to cast dispersions on who really was creating that content. That we were actually pawns to create content for a specific purpose to prop up the government here in China, and that's just not true. If we said things in the video that aligned with a certain message, it was because we agree with that message and we are talking about that. It had nothing to do with us being coaxed in any way. I hope that this is somewhat of a clarification, although in today's world, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're probably going to see this, and if you hate China, you're going to say, yep, I knew it all along. He's a pawn. Or if you have watched me over the last almost decade, you'll say, yeah, that's what we pretty much thought. Matt's just, traveling around China, seeing things and making videos about those things. I don't think I've been dishonest about that. But again, we live in a polarized world, and people are going to think whatever they think. The article went on to say a couple of strange things. It said that the comment sections in Lee's video and the comment sections of all of our videos say some pretty nasty things and pretty accusatory things, and every comment section on every YouTube video says those things. But what the article was insinuating was those things were somewhat condoned by us. Like, we create a narrative that feeds our comment section, and that the comment section is our voice as well as the video. And that is very disingenuous. I think we can look at almost any video on YouTube and see comments that go against the original intent of the person making the video in the first place. And to say that the comment section is somehow our responsibility is madness. Because I've had people tell me that I shouldn't be an American anymore. People tell me that I should be killed. People tell me all sorts of things. I certainly do not condone those messages. But in many cases, I leave them. Because as much as I enjoy being able to speak my voice, I think people in the comment section, in moderation, deserve to have their voice heard as well. YouTube is an amazing place for everybody to say what they want to say about a given topic. Obviously, you have keyboard warriors and trolls that take that to an extreme. But in many cases, I leave legitimate comments, even from people that disagree with me. Does it mean that I agree with the people that disagree with me? Of course not. Does it mean that people might take what I say, build upon it, and make some crazy theory, and that I agree with that theory in principle because it's in my comment section? Of course not. I think we can all agree that that's a pretty ludicrous assumption. In the video, he shows a clip of me and he refers to me. He said that at the end of the video, there's a disclaimer that comes up and it says, none of the YouTubers responded to requests for comment. That is really, really disingenuous. Firstly, they did send messages out to Lee and Ollie. I'll let Lee and Ollie talk about that, but I'll touch on it. The messages were from the author, a writer of the article, to Lee, asking him all these questions. Do you want to respond? Lee approached me about it and said, what do you think I should do? I said, take a breath, think about it, and then reply in the morning. So he took a breath, thought about it. In the morning, he replied. And I don't exactly know what he said, but we were talking about it. And I said, very plainly, very easily, because media today, they're just looking for anything to twist. So me, I like long explainers like this video, but in this case, I thought simplicity was better. So I told Lee, I says, just tell him that he is not being funded by the Chinese government. Leave it at that. And if he wants to ask more questions, he can do so. So Lee did. But the article seemed to have already been finished. Our request for clarification was somewhat of a formality that did not even need to be filled. Maybe the legality of an author needs to say, you need to send an article out, you need to wait about an hour, and if you don't get a reply, that is apparently enough for you to direct an article in their direction, blasting them without letting them state their side. And I think that is really messed up. So they sent Lee a message, but they included me in the article and in the video, and they didn't even request an answer from me. I would be very happy to send a message back to them. As a matter of fact, no, my videos are not funded by the Chinese government. That would have been my reply if they would have sent me a message, and I would have been very happy and swift in sending that back to them. But they never sent it back to me. They included me in the article, and guilt by association, they accused me that my videos are funded by the Chinese government. We live in a very strange world. I'm a travel YouTuber with opinions and thoughts. My opinions are based on my experiences. I share those thoughts and experiences. Some might align with the East, some might align with the West, but I'll tell you what they all align with. Me. The words I say in these videos are words that I really try to make sure to be concise and true from my heart. If they come off siding one way or the other, that's just coincidental. But we are not funded by the Chinese government to create content at a certain slant. It's very odd these days that if you make a video where you like something about China, you are pro-China and therefore you are part of a propaganda network. Also, if you make it against, you are anti-China and you are part of the networks associated with that. There's a lot of YouTubers making videos about China these days, and it's just the soup du jour, as I said in a previous video. It's just the in thing to do. So now this article goes out, talks about me without the ability for me to reply or state my case. It talks about my friends, whom I know are not being paid by the Chinese government. Lee and I are good buddies. Ollie as well. Everybody in that video I know of, and all of them state their opinions based on their experiences. Some of them I do not agree with. Some opinions of things in China I do not agree with. But I also have the right to state my opinion. And if my videos are overwhelmingly optimistic, it's because I am overwhelmingly optimistic on most things. I look to the positive in everything. JAYOE, my brand, my mantra, my motto, is about positivity. It's about adding fuel to your life, adding the passion of whatever you want in life, and finding great things. So maybe I was invited on some of those tours because they knew that I had a positive outlook on life. Why would somebody in that New York City analogy invite some guy who hates the world, hates America, to New York City to show him around, all expenses paid? That would be just crazy. They would seek out somebody like me, who talks positive, who they know if they show them a temple, give you a little history about it, you're going to put that information into a nice fun video, and it's going to be informative, it's going to be my voice, and it's going to be something that might educate somebody about China. And for the people saying that the Chinese government bots are funding the videos that we make, we get paid by Google. It's very strange, to be accused of that. Because, listen, if you made a video about New York City and the state of New York shared your video on their Twitter page and whatnot, does that mean that you have any responsibility to that Twitter account? I don't have any responsibility to those potential China bots that might be sharing my videos as much as I have responsibility for the fans of the JAYOE Nation that share my video out of love. What I do know is my channel has grown a lot since COVID. And that was another accusation. Lee's channel has grown like crazy over the last couple of years. And it's very true. His channel has kind of exploded, along with mine. My channel has gained double the amount of subscribers I've had, prior. But it's more or less a result of my location and my experience, just like Lee's location and experience. He made a video. He decided that I'm going to make a video every day of this pandemic because I live in China, I'm a Westerner, and I have this point of view. And so the value of that point of view paid off in views and subscribers. He gained a lot. People were interested about what was happening on the ground here in China. They weren't getting the seemingly accurate news from media in their home country, and there certainly wasn't the action being taken in those home countries either. So to see what Westerners were going through in China was really interesting. My channel benefited from it as well. We weren't funded by bots at that time, and I continue to think we're not funded by bots. I would hope that the quality of my content is carrying my channel to a greater level. And hopefully my content continues to carry the channel higher and higher. I'm proud of that. I think that's great. I don't want people going out there and thinking that if they watch my video that I am a talking head for a government here in China. I am not a talking head for anybody. I am my own person. My videos speak from my heart. Although I might have been transported to a place, does not mean that I'm speaking about that place through the megaphone of the Chinese government. That's crazy. And it's a disingenuous article to use the verbiage that they did to say that we are funded in any way by the Chinese government. It casts aspersions on my reputation across all of my videos. I have like 1,600 videos on my channel. How many videos I got on my channel today? I have a lot of videos about my life, about my family, about my thoughts, about the places I go and the people I meet. And I hate the thought that people might think that I'm making up stories because some government is telling me what to say. That's just crazy. So in closing, I have gone recently on some sponsored trips. Yes. The sponsoring covered travel and food and lodging. Yes. In no way was I told to make certain videos at certain places with a certain slant. Absolutely not. If I am ever to make a video that is a certain slant, say a sponsored video, I will say so in the comment section. As a matter of fact, I think a long time ago I received some LED lights for my bike to do a tour, and I mentioned the company that made those lights. If somebody sends me a product, I'll talk about it. And I'll tell them that they sent me the product. But I certainly was not providing sponsored videos. I was on a sponsored trip, and I think those are two big things. And I think sponsored trip and the Chinese government funds my videos, those are two completely different things. I'll leave the interpretation up to you because I have no control over you as a viewer, but I have to make sure to at least put a video out to rebut it because it's a big outlet and it's a dumb topic and I really want to leave this behind me. I got some amazing things coming up and I do not want to muddy the water again, and I don't want you guys to misconstrue the videos that you watch on my channel because I love making videos, I love telling stories, and I love showing you my life, and I love telling people outside about the things I experience, the thoughts I have in places, and my opinions gathered from those travels. I think that's important. I hope you stay safe. The world's a very chaotic place these days, and I feel like people just like to stoke things and make it even more crazy. If you're interested in following me, please subscribe. If you are liking this video, I'd like to hear your opinion in the comment section below. If you want to hear more details about my life and more up-to-date news, you can check out my Patreon. I'll leave links in the description. Otherwise, have a good day, and thanks for listening to me drone on. Many of you, because you've been with me for many, many years, will say, Matt, you don't even need to say anything. But I think with the size and scope of this story and the ammunition that it gives the people who are more than happy to believe the original intent of the article, I had to actually come out and put this video out. So let's see how the comment section goes. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time. JAYOE. Bye-bye.